everyone, welcome back. I'm the City Witch. Today's video I'm going to be doing a book review, and the book we're going to talk about is called Psychic Witch by Auryn. So this is what the book looks like. On the front cover it says, "A metaphysical guide to meditation, magic and manifestation." And on the back he says, "Uncover the secrets to becoming a powerful psychic witch." Popular writer and witch Auryn reveals his most closely guarded tips, practices and meditations for unlocking your psychic abilities and elevating your witchcraft into exciting new territory. Featuring over 90 exercises, this groundbreaking book helps your magic and your senses reach their full potential. Witchcraft and psychism are two sides of the same coin. They complement and strengthen one another. Psychic Witch provides everything you need to not only master the perception and manipulation of energy, but also to perform magic anywhere and at any time. This ingenious book teaches you how to use subtle energy in new ways and manifest your perception into instant magical results. So it makes a lot of bold statements on the back of the book, but I have to say Matt does not disappoint. This book is phenomenal, and straight away I'm just going to give you the score now. This is a 10 out of 10 from me, guys. This book is a must-have for any practitioner. Let me tell you why. So with the Psychic Witch, Auryn is bridging the gap between being a psychic and being a witch and bringing the two together. Now, we all know that most witches have psychic abilities and at some point have recognised that the techniques and some of the skills they have fall under some kind of psychic category, and therefore they've nurtured those skills and learned how to put them into their craft. Be it through divination or receiving omens and signs from spirit, reading candle wax, using their intuition, following their instincts, recalling their personal power. All of these things fall under the psychic realm. Now, not all psychics are witches, and many psychics don't practice any form of spirituality or witchcraft. So we have to be careful here. So the psychic world and psychic practices are definitely separate to witchcraft, but we can bring them together and blend them. I think many witches for generations have been doing this, but Matt is the first one to give an actual book on the subject on how to do it that is great for a beginner. In this book, it contains 93 exercises. Those 93 exercises start really basic and simple and build up and get a little bit more difficult as the book progresses, giving you a great foundation to start building on your psychic abilities and then work to better them as you progress through the book. It's wonderful. I didn't do all 93 exercises myself, and one of the main reasons for that is because some of the techniques that Matt mentions in this book and some of the techniques he gives for those exercises, I have actually come across those before, and I've actually been incorporating them into my craft for the past 20 years. So some of his techniques are not new to me, they're not original to him either. He does mention some of them he got from different practitioners or learned and studied over time and then adapted or turned into his own techniques, which is fine because he gives you his own technique. I will say that he doesn't talk enough about where he originally learned that technique or where he got it from or where he studied it. I would have liked more information on that, so I could have gone to some of those places and checked that for myself. But he does give a great bibliography at the back of recommended reading, backing up some of what he's saying and showing you some of the authors that he recommends that he studied from in his youth that have really helped him in his craft. So while those techniques were wonderful and I enjoyed the exercises, many of them I just didn't need to do because I'm doing the original versions of them that he talks about, and I have been doing them for many years and they work for me, so I have no need to try his method or adapt them in any way because they're working for me and they have been for a long time. But his new exercises that I didn't know or that were quite interesting to me, or they had a really interesting take on it, I did try them and I got a lot of good results, and I will say that my witchcraft has definitely benefited from reading this book. So let's have a look at the content and see what we have. So the first thing is, at the back, well, after the contents and everything, he lists all the exercises. So the first thing is he gives you that list of exercises, then the illustrations. So this book is packed full of illustrations to demonstrate what he's talking about in those chapters, and he gives you a full list of where you can locate those if you want to use them or incorporate them in your book shadows. Then he gives you consecration, other acknowledgements, and a foreword. Then we go into the introduction of the book. So the introduction of the book, he says, psychic and magical power is our birthright, combining psychic power and witchcraft. So this is why he blends the two together and tells you why he's doing that. I'm here to help. Chapter 1, Chapter 1 is the power and the sight. So reality is energy, brainwave states, a childlike wonder, affirmations and neuroplasticity. Chapter 2 is meditation and relaxation. So here he talks about opening the mind and the attitude, focusing flow, not force, the breath of life. Chapter 3, tuning in. Avoiding burnout and magical impact, deeply rooted and branching out, energetic stability, brainwave entertainment, and closing down. Chapter 4, extrasensory perception, clairvoyancy, the screen of your mind, clairtangency, clairaudience, clairgustance, and clairlicense. Chapter 5, purification and shielding, energy, cleansing, protection, and power of language. Chapter 6, the triple souls of the witch, the 3 souls before birth and after death, the middle self, the default consciousness, and the power of inquiry. Chapter 7, the lower self and the shadow, the inner child, the shadow self, and self-possession. Chapter 8, the higher self and true will. True will, our divine purpose, witchcraft as a priesthood, and synchronicity. Chapter 9, flames of the witch's soul, the trinity of the soul and the witch fire. Chapter 10, between the worlds, the butterfly effect, holographic reality, and the magic circle. Chapter 11, the elemental forces, elemental building blocks, quintessence, earth, water, air, fire, and the pentagram. Chapter 12, terrestrial energy, the earth is alive, sinking to the earth's imagination, the spirit of place. Chapter 13, celestial energies, planetary correspondences, and the doctrine of signature. Chapter 14, multi-dimensional manifestation, the cauldrons and the auric field, reality mapping, and multi-dimensional magic. Chapter 15, psychic spells and magic tricks. And then there is a conclusion, a bibliography, and an index. And then he lists the exercises. So in each chapter, there are so many exercises that you work through. Now, I'm not going to read every single exercise to you guys. I'm just going to cherry pick a few from the different chapters to give you an idea of what you're going to get. Bear in mind, there are 93 exercises in total. So in chapter 1, we have psychic immersion, psychic affirmations. Chapter 2, we have treasure chest for stress, star relaxation, the psychic dimmer, solar breathing and lunar breathing. Chapter 3, we have grounding, centering, entering alpha state and exiting alpha state, psychic cleansing, calling back your energy, balancing and repolarizing. Chapter 4, we have spell to awaken psychic abilities, visualization, deep feeling, psychometry, hearing spirits, conjuring smell and taste, creating smell and taste associations, awakening the mouth and the nose. Chapter 5, we have psychic purification, the filter shield, psychic security system, and psychic passwords. Chapter 6, the web of interconnectedness, memory magic, complementary inquiry. Chapter 7, we have self-possession, lower self-glamour spell, telepathy with animals and small children. Chapter 8, self-possession invoking the higher self, true will synchronicity meditation and universal unity. Chapter 9, soul alignment and the witch fire, basic hands-on healing. And chapter 10, painting with light, casting, releasing circles. Chapter 11, attunement in the elements, calling the quarters, dismissing the quarters. Chapter 12, we have connecting with Gaia and scrying with nature. Chapter 13, attuning to the planetary energies. Chapter 14, multi-dimensional mind magic, performing a full magic spell ritual. And chapter 15, which has the most exercises in it, we have enticing others, finding lost objects, good luck blessing, invisibility cloak, removing a curse on an item, warding an item, money magnet manipulator, creative thinking cap, communicating clearly, clear out a crowd, boosting offerings. And then we have the list of the illustrations, and it tells you what they are, what they're called, and what chapters they're in. And then we have a consecration. So this book is consecrated in the name of He who sees the past, the present, and the future with perfect clarity, who holds the key to time and wears the luminescent crown. The book is consecrated in the name of she of the crossroads, mistress of all arcane arts, who holds the keys of all worlds and wears the Ouroboros crown. Hail to the great psychic and the great witch. Now, both of those two are explained within the book, so I'm not going to spoil that for you. I will say there is quite a few nuggets of information in this book, and throughout, as I say, you do have a lot of doodles and drawings in the book that help you along the way. So, I personally found the book to be a breath of fresh air. The book is packed full of information, lots of exercises, resource material, recommended reading. Matt is an excellent writer. Every chapter flows smoothly into each other. The book is laid out in a way that makes perfect sense, building upon your craft, starting as if you're a beginner or a novice and building up to being a more experienced practitioner. There's definitely a lot in this book that I thoroughly enjoyed, and every different exercise in the book has its place in the craft and will be helpful to any practitioner. For that reason, I scored the book 10 out of 10. I am really looking forward to Matt's next book, and I will put the link to this one and his new one that is due out later this year. Both are on Amazon, so I'll link those for you guys. But I definitely recommend this book for a beginner, because if you're looking for a way to learn psychic abilities, build upon that, recognise what type of psychic you are, figure yourself out on an energetic level, this book is definitely going to do that for you. And while I know for sure that a lot of the techniques in this book, I personally have learned many of them from other authors, this is the first book of its kind where all of those exercises and techniques to work with energy are in one tome. So you don't have to go out of your way to buy all these different books from different authors. You can just get this one, and it contains everything you need in order to learn about energy manipulation and master your own energy and recognize what type of psychic you are, turning any of your psychic weaknesses into strengths. And there's a lot in this book. I can honestly say for a beginner this would probably take quite a while to work through, but for myself it took me a week to get through the book and then probably just under 2 months to do a lot of the exercises in it in order to get an idea of how they work and how to incorporate them into my own craft. So for an experienced practitioner, you'll probably absorb this book really quickly, but for a beginner I recommend you take your time with it, work through the exercises, don't be tempted to skip anything. It's definitely something that any practitioner can learn from, adapt from and add into their craft. I know I've been able to add quite a number of different things in this book, a number of things that Matt thinks were vital to your craft, and after reading it and incorporating them myself I can see why. So it's definitely a really good book. So 10 out of 10 from me for this book. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up, click the bell so YouTube will tell you when my next video comes out. If you'd like to offer light, love and support to this channel, you can do that through my Amazon wishlist or Patreon. Both links are provided. If you'd like to put my magical services for spells, rituals, divination or healing, you can do that through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram or via email, and all the links are provided in the video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you very much to Matt for writing this book. This book is absolutely wonderful, 10 out of 10. And that's all I've got for you guys. So thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon. Blessed be.